Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Coffee with the Critters, where I live stream every Sunday morning at 9:30 a.m. Eastern. For those that may be new, my name is Laura Joseph, owner of the Animal Behavior Center. We're an international educational center teaching people all over the world about behavior training and enrichment using the science of applied behavior analysis. You can find more about the work that I do on our website at theanimalbehaviorcenter.com. And I wanted to tell you, I'm sure several of you already know, but the awesome Lindsay Douglas here at the Animal Behavior Center has helped me get Coffee with the Critters turned into a podcast, which you can now find and listen to on the go, in your car, wherever you are, on Spotify, iHeartMedia, Apple, and Amazon. So excited about that. And we have 10 years of episodes because I've been live streaming every Sunday morning for the past 10 years, probably longer than that. um, and we have 10 years of content to upload. So we're uploading at least one episode per week. So I have been working so hard behind the scenes, and everybody here is making fun of me because I get up at 3:30 in the morning to start working. I love working early in the morning. I love working late at night. That's a problem. That means not much sleep. So you're going to be seeing some changes coming, and more additions to the services we offer. So stay tuned. And if you ever need to get a hold of me, you can always email me. I check and answer all my emails. Lara, Lara, at theanimalbehaviorcenter.com. So I wanted to talk today about the holidays. Um, and this is why we had our drop-in classes this past week. You can find more information on our drop-in classes. If you want to learn by topic, by species, just for an hour, join me live. We just had 2 drop-in classes this past week, and I'm trying to get everybody prepared for the holidays. And that's why I'm having this Q&A today. But the drop-ins were very well received, lots of feedback, lots of content. And I also wanted to mention last week's episode of Coffee with the Critters, which I titled Ethics in Entrepreneurship, Building a Business You Can Live With. That I got so much feedback from that. If you have not watched last week's or listened to last week's episode on ethics and entrepreneurship, go take a listen. I was told that was the best episode I've had so far. And you want to know why? Well, I always speak about whatever's relevant going on in my business at the time. Um, I always speak from the heart. I mean, I wear my heart on my sleeve. I know I've been told before, I'm too passionate about my work. I don't know what the hell that means. How can you be too passionate about your work? I love what I do, which is why I get up at 3:30 in the morning. I like to I'm a steward for animals. And try to think of myself as that connection between humans and animals, helping you get the best relationship you can possibly get with them, treating them with respect. I'm a big promoter for respect for animals, no matter what the field, um, no matter what our background is in living and working with them, we owe it to them. We owe it to them. So, anyways, good morning, everybody. Good morning, Sylvia, Ray, Stephanie, Iris, Mary, everybody. So let's get started with this topic. If you guys have questions, let me know. But the holidays are can be a very stressful time for a lot of people that have animals. Speaking about, I mean, there's a lot of toxins in the environment that our animals can get into. But first, I want to address the stress and anxiety level of animals during the holidays. A lot of times people don't think about this, and well, I understand. You're focusing on company coming, um, you going. This is a big rush and a big change for the animals in your house. Um, and that can cause a lot of stress and anxiety if your animals aren't used to it. This is why I always tell you keep your animals used to change because life is full of changes, life is full of accidents, things that we don't plan on. And then, boom, they happen. Here they are in your face. You're not even ready. Your animals are probably not ready. So, with the stress with animals over the holidays, um, changes in routine, you have house guests, numerous amounts of people in your house. You're traveling, leaving animals behind. If you're hosting things in your house, it can be loud. There can be, um, I know, like fireworks at New Year's Eve. I think we have one more Sunday before New Year's Eve. Hmm, getting some ideas for the next episode of Coffee with the Critters. Um, a lot of pets will run and hide. Some can become aggressive. You could see behaviors you're not even aware your animal had. Or they may even try to run out the door. A lot of people coming and going, doors opening and shutting. You have guests in your house that are not used to living with um, parrots, dogs, cats, whatever else you may have. And if they're not used to living with this species of animal, they're not paying attention to their behaviors and how that may affect the animal. Um, so there's different things this is why I train. The field of animal training through enrichment. I'm knee deep in enrichment right now. Um, so studies show if you're actually using positive reinforcement training, it's the animal's preferred form of enrichment. Yeah, I know that for a fact. That's why I do what I do. But other things like one thing, if I can tell you, I know a lot of people like to feed animals. People think food is comfort. Um, there's a there's a lot of toxic foods out there. Also, pay attention to the host and what they're asking you to do and not to do with the animals in the house. They're doing that for a reason. You know, I know in my other house when I had 3 dogs, I used to have crates in the living room. The crate doors were always open, and I would ask the dogs to go to their crates when people would come over because people can reinforce all kinds of very undesired behaviors. Even with the parrots in our house, with people, parrots are interesting. People like to stick their fingers in, poke. You can teach the bird to bite, to scream. Um, you can overwhelm the dogs. But if the host is asking you to do something or not do something with your animals, when you don't pay attention to that, that is extremely disrespectful. Because let me tell you what happens after. You know, you create a behavior issue. You're probably not aware of it because you're not there to take care of the animal once the gathering is over. Um, and then you get to leave and you're leaving behind behavior issues that the host now has to deal with and counter condition, which is the topic of an upcoming podcast, our private podcast in the memberships. Counter conditioning is retraining. if we can prevent counter conditioning, that's why I always try to prevent having to counter condition, mean retrain. And the concern with counter conditioning is, um, once the animal already knows the reinforcer is there for a particular behavior, you now have to teach it an alternative behavior. And when the reinforcer isn't there for the alternative behavior, the animal's going to go back to the undesired behavior because it knows it has earned reinforcement there before. Um, just reading some of your comments. Ray says new people often struggle to cope with birds' sleep schedules. It's frustrating to me and not fair to them. Yeah. And Sylvia says it is late for now, but creating a safe room is helpful. Yeah. I mean, it with this close to the holidays, this is why I suggest doing this all year long, getting prepared for the holidays. Just like before I go into an animal's enclosure, I teach it through the enclosure all the behaviors I am going to want or request of it once I'm in the enclosure. Same thing with training for the holidays. I'm preparing, okay, this is what's getting ready to happen. Different, stations are great for the holidays, asking the animal to go to an area. And then you get the public or your public, yeah, your family to deliver a reinforcer when you see the animal on its station. That's what I used to do a lot, and I still do. Sylvia says it's late for now, but creating a safe room is helpful, delivering foraging activities so dogs learn it's a safe place. I use my bedroom since it's already a safe space, slowly shaping a baby gate to close off the doorway. Yeah. And that's kind of how I used to use my crates. Um, And then also, when an animal is in a crate, do not hover over it. That can be very scary thing for the animal. Um, and also, there's a lot of toxic foods that the animals can ingest. I know a lot of guests like to feed different animals food. Um, d If the host doesn't want that to happen, please don't do it. I think of my dad constantly sneaking food to dogs under the table. Yeah, now you have a begging dog. Um, so there's a lot of toxicities out there, especially during the holidays, like chocolate, onions, garlic, fatty foods. Um, these foods that are different foods that are very rich in holiday meals can also have a big impact on animals that have pancreatitis or create pancreatitis. Um, and I know veterinarians they see a great uptick in their clients and their cases during the holidays because of things like people feeding these toxicities to animals and foreign body obstructions, pets swallowing decorations, ribbons, tinsel, ornament hooks, breaking ornaments, stepping on ornaments, cooked bones from holiday meals. I know the bones in meat in meals become very dangerous once they're cooked because they get softened and they splinter. Um, Very dangerous for the animals in your house. There's also Christmas tree decoration hazards, causing the trees to fall over, animals chewing on electrical cords. I know. Um, I know. This was a couple houses ago. We had people coming in and cleaning our house, and I just said, "Stay out of the animal room. Do not go into it." They did and didn't tell me, and I was gone, and they took one of my stainless steel cages. They must have moved it to get closer to the animal. Well, what they did was move that cage up against an electrical cord, and the bird chewed through it. I'm surprised the bird's still alive. And then there was this exposed wire. If that touched my metal cages, that bird's metal cage is now live. Yeah, I fired them and I just cleaned myself now. So I know animals try to drink tree water. I know Stan's tank is right here, and animals are curious. And I sometimes leave the lid off throughout the day so I can train Stan throughout the day. Well, then I noticed Noodle, my cockatiel, flying over there, and Stan noticed him too. I definitely don't want him drinking the water. Um, but a lot of, if you have live trees in your house, animals drink the tree water, and the tree water may contain fertilizers, preservatives. You don't know what's people are treating those trees with before you get them. Um, and there's other toxicities. Like, I'm really cautious when I bring in a new plant here because so many of them are toxic to birds. But I also have a deaf and blind dog nicknamed Uma. Um, so um, I know I love poinsettias. Nope, not in my house. I can't. I can't with a deaf and blind dog and birds flying around. So there's holiday plants that are toxic, like poinsettias, mistletoe, holly, lilies, which are extremely toxic to cats. Um, and I know, like I said, um, just when people bring you a plant like this for the holidays, hey, thank you very much. Go stick it in spare bedroom, shut the door. When they leave, you can regift it. Yeah, two birds with one stone. um, Sylvia says they have nice tabletop trees. Yeah. So Danielle says avocado. I know there's a list out there, especially for parrot owners, caretakers, whatever. There's a huge list of toxic plants and foods and woods to use and not to use. I'm sure there's something out there like that, isn't there, Sylvia, for dogs and cats? But anyways, these are things to pay attention during the holidays. So yeah, maybe we have a Q&A. We have another session next Sunday to address what happened during Christmas and what you can plan for the new year to start training for this not to happen next year. So with that being said, I want to tell you guys happy holidays. Thank you for all your support through the year. Thank you for being loyal followers. Like I said, the Coffee with the Critters is now a podcast. Share that with the animal lovers in your life. And you can pay attention because I'm working. I am working. You're going to see a lot of drop-in classes starting in the new year. You're going to see something new starting in the new year. All of you that are in my memberships are going to see something new. And I think you're going to love it. So you can find out more about that on the Animal Behavior Center's website. If you need a last minute gift and you have an animal lover in your life, email me. I'll give you options and set you up with something in your price range. And with that, these are all the other services I have. I want to say thank you. Everybody have a fabulous Christmas holiday season, and I will see you next week before the new year. Take care, everybody, and enjoy this whole week. I am starting Tuesday morning. Bye.